Yeah, no, it's very good, and we have done a lot of documentaries that we produced at Golden Era Productions on some of the harmful and deadly effects of some of the psychotropic medicine and the drug companies and what they're actually doing. There's a story in one documentary, which is about a mother who lost her son to psychotropic medication, and then what she actually did about it. And she got, a whole other group of ladies together to make other parents and mothers aware of, the deadly effects of this medication.
Absolutely. And I'm not going to say that medication can't be helpful. What I will go on the line to say is that it's not a permanent solution.
That's right.
Psychotropic medications are not a permanent solution in most cases, and especially when the younger the child. With younger children, generally there's a lot that you can do in order to help that particular child, and you owe it to the child to try. You owe it to the child to try some alternatives. You mentioned human rights, so I want to talk a little bit about what you're doing with human rights. I love the topic.
Oh, okay. Okay, well that's very interesting. What we did at the studio is we took the international human rights that was written by Eleanor Roosevelt. This was right after World War II. And she wrote the Declaration of Human Rights. It has 30 points on it. And what we did was we did public service announcements for each of these human rights. They've been played on national TV, at soccer stadiums, various places like that. Because there really needs to be an awareness internationally that people do have human rights. And also that there are human rights violations happening everywhere in the world. Like even right here in Riverside County, we have human rights violations.
Absolutely.
With human trafficking.
Yes, it's a universal issue.
Exactly.
Globally.
And so the more aware people become of it, then things, can change. Because if people aren't aware to know that something needs to change, then nothing will happen. So
Absolutely.
It's like the first step. And so we're going to be doing a film on each point of the, from the Human Rights Declaration as well. And we've done other videos, and it's really quite incredible because the country of Mexico has adopted
Yes.
our program.
Absolutely.
Which is fabulous because it's really needed in Mexico with the human rights violations that they have. And when you read in the newspaper about all of the killings and stuff that are taking place, with
Absolutely.
the drug czars and everything like that, and just
Absolutely.
totally innocent people being slaughtered, there's something that needs to be fixed.
Absolutely. And even, and I want to emphasize this, that the first step in education is awareness. If you have to be aware you have a problem.
Right.
In order to implement or design a solution. And that's what we're about here, is believing that education is a human right. It is a civil right, and every child is entitled to have an education, as opposed to child labor and many of the other abuses, child brides, child marriages. All of those issues interfere with the child's right to have a childhood. And so we're very in favor of that globally in St. Carrie's Classroom.